Hi, my name is Brian Lancer, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing and one of the founders of Muse Research. We're here today to tell you about our product, Receptor, a dedicated hardware plug-in player. First off, it's really important to understand what is Receptor and what makes it different. Receptor really is a purpose-built device for running your favorite virtual instruments and effects. By purpose-built, I mean that we've taken a lot of technology that's off the shelf and then customized it specifically for the task of running your favorite virtual instruments and effects. It differentiates itself due to the fact that it's future-proof. With a standard sound module, you're going to have the same sounds today that you do a year from now, and maybe a year and a half from now those sounds aren't sounding so great. Well, with Receptor, we're constantly renewing the sounds due to the fact that there's thousands of developers who are creating new and interesting sounds and effects on almost a daily basis. So as this software becomes available, we're able to take advantage of it in Receptor, and the sound becomes as new next year as it is today. Receptor is also unique in the sense that it's a compact, portable, robust, and completely self-contained device. We've done this specifically because we know that people want to be able to use technology in the studio, and then they want to take it out live and play at a gig, or even perhaps move from studio to studio. It really has everything you need and is fully self-contained and independent. Got a guitar input on the front, has a headphone output on the front, has all your balanced line inputs and outputs on the back, and a MIDI port, of course, and an ADAT output, Ethernet connection, connections for a mouse, keyboard, and monitor. It's really a complete integrated solution with nothing else that you need to buy to get your system running. Receptor has something for every musician. When we first brought Receptor to market, we really kind of thought of it as kind of a Swiss Army knife where you could download the blades. If you play keyboards, Receptor really is the ultimate synthesizer, sampler, and sound module. Now I know that sounds kind of boastful, but when you start comparing maybe an 80 megabyte piano you would have in a typical sound module with a 40 gigabyte piano that you'd have in Receptor, well, there really is no comparison. Receptor really has that just right sound that's otherwise quite difficult to get using standard off-the-shelf keyboards and sound modules. Whether you're a film composer looking for great string sounds, or whether you play in a rock band, you need some great leads or organs, or even if you're a classical pianist and you want the best sounding sampled piano that's available, you'll find that Receptor really has that and delivers it. But Receptor doesn't stop at just being a synthesizer, sampler, and sound module. It's also an amazing drum module. There are some incredible drum products that are out there like BFD or DFH or Addictive Drums that when connected to your drum pads or triggers, or even used with triggers on your acoustic drums for drum replacement, you'll find that the sounds are simply unbeatable, sounding much, much more realistic and much more dynamic than what you're able to get with your typical drum hardware. The guitarists will love the fact that Receptor is perhaps the best effects processor they'll ever use. Simply plug your guitar into the front panel, run one of the great guitar processing plugins like Guitar Rig 3 or Amplitube or Rock Amp Legends, and you'll have guitar sounds that are just simply amazing. Of course, you can also add additional effects that are typically the realm of keyboardists, such as PSP and Ohmforce, all these amazing brands of plugins that are otherwise not in the realm of the guitarist. Of course, since Receptor has a sophisticated patch and preset architecture, you'll be able to call those sounds up instantly on stage too. So imagine hundreds of amps and thousands of effects processors all at your beck and call. Well, that's what Receptor gives guitar players. If you work your magic in the studio, as an engineer or producer, you'll be pleased about the fact that Receptor can be used as a system accelerator. All you do is plug Receptor into your host computer, and you're able to run your plugins on Receptor as if they were running inside your computer, taking the load off of your host computer so you can run more tracks or do more mixing inside your computer while all the heavy lifting happens on Receptor. We call that special technology Uniwire, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So really, when you get right down to it, whether you're an engineer or a producer or a drummer or a guitarist or a keyboardist, I think that once you use Receptor, you'll find that Receptor is a great way of making music without having the technology get in the way of the creative process.